here we are next week. No outfit change, no scenery change. Let's get this going, you guys. The time management and planning principles straight from the Bible, part 2. If you did not get a chance to see part 1, I highly recommend it. I think it felt a little basic, but at the same time very organized, very structured, very much the basics that is great to start with. I say basic, but it's like literally you cannot build any system without a good foundation. So I feel like this is a good foundation for the system. And now today we are talking about the rest of the principles, which I have 5 right now. So let's do it. Hi you guys, my name is Yana and I am a mother of 4. I'm a wife and I am a working mother. I do wedding photography, and so I have a busy full life, and so here on this channel that's what I'm trying to share is the principles from the Bible and principles through my life experience. I apologize, David, it's a dry air, so little David has a little bit of the, we are healthy, but the dry air is not helping with sorry, but where's your nose? You okay? Yeah, is that good? Yes. Okay. And so yes, here on this channel, and that's what I share on this channel, the life of a mother who knows the biblical principle, is learning to apply it in real life, the principles that Bible teaches us to have a good, beautiful, organized life that is satisfying and pleasant to me, but most importantly, that is the life that God is looking down upon and says, wow, she's doing good. She has a good life. She's reading my word. She's following the instructions. She's not trying to run around crazy, chaotic, disorganized, scared. She listens to my word and she implements what I tell her. I always tell my kids, just listen to me. Listen what I am telling you and just do what I'm telling you and you will have a good life. That's exactly how God looks at us when we listen to his word and we do accordingly. He's like, yep, I said this, obviously, can't you tell she's doing good? So this is what's the channel about: time management, life management, family management, marriage management, parenting, all of the good things, work management through the lens of the Bible. All right, you guys, let's do the time management. So the principle number 1, sorry you guys, I hope I don't get mixed up, because last week, which was 5 minutes ago that I finished recording last week's video, now that one was numbered, this one is not numbered, so hopefully I do not get mixed up myself. But let's just start. Here is that the best time management is planning and doing. Last week's video was very much about planning, but planning is literally zero if you do not implement. Planning is a part of the faith. Doing is another part of the faith. Faith is how we live. If you do not believe you're going to live tomorrow, then there is nothing that you will be doing. Because there's nothing that is required of you. If you believe that you will have life up until 100 years old, then you plan differently and you live differently. You know how much money you need to earn and save during your career building years, during your wealth building years. If you know that you will have children, then you plan accordingly to have children and to what is this that's going to be happening when you are 100 and then they're 70. You plan differently when you believe different things about yourself, but if you believe the thing but you don't do it, it's like as if you don't believe it. That's what James says. Faith without deeds is dead. It's like zero, it's nothing. So if you believe it, then you also do it. So doing is an incredible part of life. You don't only have a plan, you look at your plan and you must do. It's kind of funny to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I'm just talking from my personal experience here, because oftentimes I make this beautiful plan, but when it comes to the day, I'm like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I want a snack, I want a nap, I don't have energy, I'm cold, I am in a bad mood, my children are in a bad mood, oh, this comes up, I have too many emails, the Instagram is so interesting. There's just like so many excuses that there can be that I have experienced, sadly. But that just is as if I don't have faith into the plan that I have made, as if my plan is not good enough. I made it, but I'm like, but Instagram is more interesting. But the snack is yummier than my healthy planned meals. And so doing is like goes hand in hand with planning, because time management is zero if you do not actually do what you planned for, what you said that you're going to do. And now here, let's come to this principle number 2, which is a perfect human plan doesn't exist. And sometimes I would find myself like procrastinating planning. It's not procrastinating, because like I was trying to come up with the best plan so that I can actually work through this, especially, I want to say with small children, but it's not just small children that derail the plan. It's life in general. There's always something, health and traffic and other people being late or other people not coming through with their commitments. There's just like so many. You tell me, please tell me in the comments what it is that derails your plans. You have this beautiful day or a week planned out, and then it's just like everything goes to ruin. Nothing has happened. Nothing went the way you planned it to go. And so here I am to tell you, to remind you, do not try. Talking to myself always. Do not try to create the perfect plan and hope that it's going to work. 70-60% quality is good enough. Plan for 70%, 60% quality. That this is good enough. This is what I'm going to implement. This is what I'm going to work on, and work on that. And the Bible verse that aligns with this principle is that Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6, that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Not on your own understanding. In all your ways, this is your way. In all your plans, your way is what you planned. In all your ways, submit to Him. In all your ways, acknowledge Him. Know that any interference from life, God, acknowledge that this is God interfering, and that's okay. And that's why we should not be ever getting bad attitude when something doesn't go according to our plan, because it's God interfering, God allowing something. God is teaching us the lesson. We need to acknowledge that. And so in all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. And so when we acknowledge that this is God, we will see that our path is actually straight. Our plan is actually going the way it should be going. So we plan as best as we know how to, and then we go. David, don't be silly. Baby, I'm recording a video. I don't want you being silly. Do you want to go? Baby, do you want to go on the floor?
No.
Okay, so then please don't kick my notes, because I need to look at my notes. Okay, baby? Sorry. So do not procrastinate or like plan obsessively trying to create this perfect plan, because life will change a little bit here and there. You plan as best as you know how to, and then you start acting. Understanding that helped me so much, not trying to perfect the plan, but just like move on. Doing actually is more than planning. Planning is important, but when you start moving, when you start doing, it will all start coming together, and you will be able to better see what it is that you need to act on as a next item. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to plan out step by step. Sometimes it's better to start one, and then your brain will see what is the next best thing for you to start working on. And so sometimes acting sometimes planning out too much is actually waste of time now, and then you still have to redo it later, and waste of time later. Time management and planning principle from the Bible number 3 is the task expands to the allotted time. Here I'm going to give an example of a not so positive person in the biblical history, but he was definitely good at time management and knowing what needs to get done. And that's kind of funny to me, because there are so many people telling, oh, the Bible is full of terrible. This should be a separate video. Will I make a separate video? Hopefully, because a lot of people say a Bible is filled with these terrible people, terrible stories, how God told people what to write down, to tell the stories of people and how God was leading them through their sinful, lustful actions, how they were living so crazily. And God still led them through all of their sin and all of the things. I do not know if that was not a complete tangent. I am so sorry. Please, when you read your Bible, read it as a complete book. Look at the point of view of God. You have to distinguish what the people are doing as the exercise of their free will onto themselves and other people, and what are the God's commands. So much difference between God's commands versus what people actually do. The implementation is so poor. The way, who says it? Frank Turek. Is it Mozart or Beethoven? You cannot judge Beethoven's, what he wrote, versus how some of us play it. It's like the human implementation is so poor, so poor. God, please forgive us. All of us Christians who poorly implement the godly commands and the Christ commands. But our implementation, yes, what people are doing, not always true, not always what God says to be true, but the stories are there for us to look at it, to compare it to the principles of the Bible. David, be gentle. And then that's how we arrive to the conclusions. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it ugly? What is this that we need to be working on? And so here we're looking at the Egyptians, King Pharaoh, implementing time management principle in his evil heart. But he was using the God's principle that is correct. Moses comes and says, let my people go to the desert to sacrifice, to minister to the Lord, to have a festival and celebration to the Lord. And Pharaoh says, you guys have too much time on your hands, and that is why you are trying to find yourself extra things to do. Don't you think so that when you have too much time, you have like all these extras to plan, the desserts that are extra pretty, the sprinkles on the cake, the extra beautiful home decor, when you have more time, you can do more things. And when you have less time, you literally do what must be done. And that's what the slaves are for. The slaves are for doing what they must do. I said, you make the bricks, you better be making the bricks. And so that the Pharaoh exercises the time management very well. He says, you guys have too much free time on your hands. Now, instead of giving you the straw, like the dry hay, grass for your brick, now I will also make you collect your own straw, because you obviously have too much time on your hands. And even though we can say, oh, he was so evil, he was actually a prudent time manager and the servant of God. All of the governors, all of the presidents, all of the kings are the appointees by God, and they're doing an assigned, planned by God task for them. Can be evil, can be good, can be whatever. It's God there to judge them. We are there to pray for them. And now, so here, an evil king, he says, my goals are to build this whatever pyramid that they were working on at the time. He's like, I need brick. The prudent steward is to make sure that their slaves are doing as best as possible. So he says, you are doing a poor job. So now I'm going to take away the straw so that you can also gather your own straw and not waste the time of my other servants who are gathering the straw. I can find something better for them to do. He is being a good manager of the servants that he has. So now here we have to come and look at the principle. Do you agree that the task expands to the time allotted? Did we hear that before? Am I at my job? At my job, I am kind of like a slave. I am there to be making money, to working as hard as possible. And these 5, 6, 7 hours that I'm here to labor, I must work as hard as I can. And so you tell yourself, okay, this hour I'm going to collect the straw. This hour I'm going to check the email. This hour I have a meeting and I better come with good ideas there. And this hour, this is what I'm doing. When we come to our house, are we servants in our house? Yes, good, bad. I think it's good. But everybody can judge in whichever way that you can. We come to our house and we have, okay, this is the house that needs maintenance. So we are literally the servant of the house. We have to clean, fix, maintain, make it cozy to whichever degree. Actually, cozy, I think that's actually a stewardship of the free time, when we get to make it pretty, smell beautiful, make it sparkly, extra sparkly, clean and cozy, and make cookies and all the cozy things. You have to make a meal, and making a meal is a servant's job because you have to eat and sustain life and health. But making beautiful and extra delicious things, I think that's the freedom of a good steward, and of the luxury of having a little bit of extra time. Not all of us have free time. That is the thing, that some of us have the luxury of being able to make more money, or a spouse, dual income household, somebody making more money, so that you are able to either outsource the cleaning, or outsource the cooking, or cook yourself, because sometimes it feels like cooking yourself healthy meals can be a luxury. And so even though I can argue that it is not a luxury, but sometimes it can feel like it. I feel like it is a necessity. But here we come and we say, I'm here a servant, let's get this done quickly. Chop, 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 chop. What is the English term for chop chop? It is a chop chop. So get this done quickly and then be done with this. I feel like sometimes cleaning the house can be this, just like chop chop and then you're done. And now taking care of the children. Are you a servant to your children? That's not specifically said that way. It's not politically correct to say that you're a servant. But in my video talking about the parental role as how do you relate to a child, is that you are a servant to your child, because Jesus is a servant to us. We are showing up as Jesus as best as we know how to. So now we are a servant as a small sliver of the parental role. So we're serving them. And so in some cases you want to be chop chop, wash the laundry, do the dishes, cook a healthy meal, go for a run, for a walk with them to get some exercise. Some things just must be done, versus others, the nurturing, the hugging, the reading, even though the reading can also sometimes feel like a chore. And so sometimes it's okay to approach it, to just get it done, and then you know that they're taken care of. They don't have to know that it's just like, I just got it done, because you're just tired and you just want to go to sleep. And there are times when you are enjoying it, and sometimes you just got it done and it's done and you're a good servant. Good job. So which one is this? Task expands to the allotted time. So you have to have yourself a schedule, time blocking, a schedule. I feel like sometimes the time blocking can be up to 15 minutes, that this is when we're reading a book, even though we never read for 15 minutes. We always read for like an hour before bedtime for kids, because I am loving it. This is part of my self-care as well as their care. This is my block of restful rejuvenation with me and my children. So I give myself almost an hour in the evening that we read together before bedtime. But we do say 30 minutes for the showers, 30 minutes for tidying and dishes after dinner, and like 30 minutes for dinner time, and then 3 hours for work, 3 hours for whatever, 1 hour of total cleaning of the house. So you have to give yourself a time and say, this is the time that I'm doing this task. I feel like a slave doing this task, but that's okay. I'm going to do this, and I know that it is done with the highest efficiently possible. So then the next principle is, I think it's number 4, is that time is short. God tells us over and over again that we're like a grass that is green today, and tomorrow we're thrown into the fire. We're like flowers that today we're blooming and beautiful, and tomorrow we're all withered, that we're just like a dew in a fog that is there in the morning, and then daytime comes and then we're gone. The time is fleeting. It goes by so fast. And that's why having a conscious plan for these 70 years. Have you talked to an older person? Everybody says, I do not know where the time have gone. And it have gone by so fast. That's why planning is so good, because there are certain things that you are able to do only at certain seasons of life. Again, referring back to the first time management video with the basics, the foundation. There are only certain seasons of life when we are the childbearing years are a short, long. There is like 15, 20 years of that, or whatever, a little bit more than that. So you have that season of life. There is also a short season of life where you can be making the money actively a lot. You're strong, you have a lot of energy, you are requested by the market. Everybody to a degree wants you to work for them. And so that's a short period of time. There's a short period of time to study and to learn and to deepen your knowledge. There is a short period of time like retirement where you can splurge your time and like get to do a little bit more exploration as much as your health allows you. So, and all of those seasons feel like they're kind of long, 7 to 15 to 20 years, but they're also so short that you have to consciously come to that season of life and consciously make a plan and chip away at it, so that when you come to the end of that season, you know that I'm like, okay, I did a good job, reasonable. Obviously, the plan will never go perfectly. Something will not work as well as you wanted to, but that's okay. You did as best as you knew how to at the time. God allowed you to come to certain times, and so that's just it. And now coming to the last principle for today's video. Okay, the battery has died, my tea got cold, and I'm cold, so now I am wearing my sweater, so I am sure you don't mind. I am sure you're comfortable where you are, sipping on your own tea, folding your own laundry, doing whatever it is that you need to be doing. So you do not care. I know this. Principle number 5 is that God's timing can be shorter or longer than we normally feel the time. God's timing shortens and expands. We are used to understanding time within seconds and minutes and hours and days. But I know that you have experienced it, that you do something and it feels like, wow, like I was sitting there for 3 hours and it feels like it is gone already. Or sometimes you sit in torture or something and it feels like the time is so long and it has only been 2 minutes. So we all have these weird time distortion experiences in our lives. And that is the thing, that I think when we are participating in God's invitation to whatever He has called us to do, whatever He has invited us into, then He allows the time to be enough for whatever the thing is that we're working on. It's either shorter and it goes by faster, or it's longer and we have more time. In the Bible, there are multiple examples of God's invitation. Abraham, Jacob, Moses, Joshua, literally every person, David, Saul, every prophet, Samuel, every character, every big person who, by big I mean there's a story, a distinct long story within the Bible about that person has done something together with God. There is a clear invitation of God. Let's do this together. Would you want to participate in my plan? And so once we say yes to God, because God's invitation is always open. He is always inviting us to one thing and another and third and whatever. And once we say, yes, I want to be a part of this, then I think the seconds and the minutes, they do not matter as much. The God's timing, this is such a cliche thing to say, oh, that's God's timing. It doesn't matter. Some things can take decades and some things can take seconds for that thing to happen. And yes, from a natural human perspective, God built in the natural laws of growing up and seasons and reaping and the sun signifying the season and 1 year completion and the seasons warm and cold and the women's cycles and childbirth and the pregnancy. There are natural seasons that are already built in that we are experiencing, we're just going with the waves of rhythms that God built in. But the projects that we're working on, this is like a bonus. This is an add-on. It's not just living and letting our bodies go through this earthly experience. Projects, that's something that we take on and something that is unique to every single one of us. All of us have slightly different things that we're working on, slightly different number of children and family members, and all the things are different to all of us. So I feel like based on what you take on and because again, take on, it can be a clear God's invitation, be like, let's do this. Let's start a YouTube channel. Let's go help this elderly person. Let's participate in the Sunday school ministry. Let's take this job. Let's marry this person. There's those kinds of things. But then there are obvious responsibilities. If you got married to someone, you have taken the invitation. David is staring at me through the window. David, do you want to go in? If you got married, this is the clear invitation that you have taken. God set on two paths in front of you. Get married or not get married. You got married. You took on the invitation and so responsibility to be married, to love that person, to care for that person, to be respectful to that person and treat the other one in your marriage with dignity. You wanted, or maybe you did not want, you got pregnant, you did not get an abortion, now you are having a child. You are taking the invitation of God's natural processes within our bodies to carry this child to term. And if you're keeping the child in your family, you are not giving her up for adoption. Now you took on the invitation of God to care for the child. Now you are a parent, and now you are carrying the responsibility of whatever that invitation that you took on. Once you take the invitation of accepting Jesus as your Savior and surrendering your life to God, now you are taking on the responsibility of following the commandments of Bible as best as you know how to. We're never perfect. We are all struggling through our questions and flesh and like all the desires that are not holy. The lustful desires that we're struggling with. So we're never going to be doing it perfect, but the responsibility is there. The lifestyle, with every invitation that we take on from God, our lifestyle reflects the responsibility. And so, wrapping up this video, I just want to say that God gave us time, God gave us a gift of life, and we are taking this invitation of life. We are not ending our lives. The obedient thing to do is to live. God loves life. Devil loves death and destruction. So some people choosing the path of death. Sadly, God is very sad about this, and it grieves his heart. If you're watching this, then you're alive, then you are taking God's invitation to life. So now our responsibility that comes with living is manage the things that are around us. And the time that we have here, hopefully we can manage it well, as best as we know how to. And we're here to learn how to manage it better and how to organize our schedules, our weeks and days and quarters, and know that if you are taking on invitations from God, read your Bible, pray, listen to God, talk to other people who have the lives that are surrendered to God, who are living in accordance to the Word of God. And then you will hear more and more invitations to participate. And then you will be able to fit in more of the godly things, and hopefully the trash, the junk will just fall off, and you will not have to deal with that as much as we used to. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Dear God, thank you for the time that we were able to spend together to think about your word. The Bible is put away already. Thank you for the Bible that you gave us so much wisdom. Help us to manage our times well, to schedule the time for reading the Bible and for making the plans and working on our plans. Please give us wisdom and approval of our plans. Help us to make our plans in accordance with your wisdom, and forgive us when we are getting frustrated, when we get interruptions from you into our plan. Help us to come into the interruptions joyfully, with open heart, so we can serve people around us and be joyful in every moment. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Have a wonderful day. God willing, I will see you in the next video next week. Bye.